And welcome to Bleav in the Dallas Cowboys. I, of course, am one of your wonderful hosts. My name is Jeff Cavanaugh. And I am alongside my co-host, the great, wonderful, handsome, has a great head of hair and a sweet, sweet man, former Cowboys wide receiver, Jesse Holley.
Oh, Jesse Holley went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
And today we have a massive quarterback controversy for the Cowboys. Hot hand Cooper Rush, really on a screamer right now, and Dak Prescott probably losing his job. Good afternoon, Jesse Holley. How are you, buddy?
I'm well. I am well, and I am less messy than Jerry Jones.
Probably for the most part. This show, of course, brought to you by our friends at Bet Online, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests and events with first-to-market odds and lines. If there were a way to wager that Jerry Jones is going to say something that would get his team headlines that is absolutely stupid and ridiculous, you should bet on that. You wouldn't get good odds, but you would win. Bet Online. News for every league, reviews, Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, even golf. They're your top online resource for all your sports information, live in-game betting, props, and futures. You use our promo code at BetOnline, Bleav50, BLEAV50. You get your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Jesse, you look like you're out at the Star doing work.
Yeah, I'm out here. I'm working. I'm about to check out practice. There's Brian Broaddus. Right there. If you want any type of good info, you come see this guy right here, Brian Broaddus. Come here.
Yeah, dare him to step in the camera frame. Does he know who you're on with? Dare him to step in the camera frame.
You know who I'm on with?
Who you on?
I'm on with Jeff Cavanaugh.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
Sweet Brian.
From the couch, or you're at your desk?
Yeah, hell yeah, I am. I love you, Brian. I miss you.
Love you guys. Take care. Have a good show. Hey, your wide receiver, that Georgia kid, can play a little bit, huh?
George Pickens.
You told him about those guys. Hope you enjoy the show, guys.
There's Brian Broaddus.
You might see at the Star, man. It's this legendary people walking around here all the time, man.
Former Cowboys scout and my draft father, Brian Broaddus, and one of the finest crawfish makers in all the land. Mazeth is in the super chat. Cut Dak, draft a new QB. He's overrated and overpaid, much like Jesse Holley. LOL.
Hey, wait a second. Did he say that?
He sure the hell did. You did put that in there.
Listen, it's Friday. Another dude took a shot at me on Twitter. I mean, he laced me. Called me a clown and was like, "Don't follow the clown show." And I'm thinking to myself, I haven't even said anything today. What did I do now? And he goes, "Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I thought I'm going to tag Isaiah Standback." And I'm like, not all black.
Oh, so now
same.
So everyone with the same, if you have a similar complexion and long hair.
Yeah, I was like, dang. I was like, I'm out here just trying to make a living. I'm hosting these shows. I'm with you. I just was like, whew, goodness gracious, man.
We will preview Cowboys and Giants. I don't think we have to spend much time on Jerry Jones doing what he does, which is being a master of grabbing headlines. Like, yeah, I hope Cooper Rush plays so well that we do have a controversy. I remember Dak did the same thing. That's the dumbest thing ever. We're just going to ignore it. We're just going to move on. I know there are going to be Dak haters in the chat that are like, well, he does suck and Cooper Rush did win. And you know what? Through 1 week, Cooper Rush probably played better football so far this year than Dak Prescott, and I don't give half a crap. One of them is a backup to not as good as most people's backup, and one of them's a good NFL quarterback. So we don't have to do anything with that, do we, Jesse?
Okay, let's just say this quickly. Like, Dak Prescott has an immense amount of starts and wins under his belt, and he's getting paid $40 million a year. The other guy, Cooper Rush, in a battle for his job with Will Grier 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. We're not on the same page, man. Like, let's stop doing this. Let's stop Jerry being Jerry. I can't say that too loud in his building that I'm in, but let's stop Jerry from being Jerry at times, because he literally had an impromptu conversation, like literally like right on the other side of this door. He just came out and was like, "Hey, come here, y'all," and just unabated, just said it himself. Like, no one asked him, no one knew he was, like, the whole beat team wasn't even there. He just came out and was like, "I'm going to say a bunch of words, and you all are going to run to your computers and to your phones, and you're going to put them out there in the universe, and they're going to talk about my team all day Thursday, all day Friday, lines on Sunday, and again, it will be the top story before we play on Monday." But that's Jerry. On to the next.
Mazeth in the super chat again said he's just breaking balls. No hate. Okay. Just in case you're wondering, there was no hate in there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And leave my balls alone.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. There's no picture with Mazeth or plus could have a great personality. Don't know. Anyway,
Not what I mean.
Jerry also, of course, had to follow up today about Amari Cooper and said, oh, yeah, good player, really good player. We liked Amari Cooper. Just, he made too much money and we wanted to invest that in other places, as if they didn't have the cap space to keep Amari Cooper and fix other places. But yeah, so that's just commentary on my part telling you that Amari Cooper is not here. I tell you for the 58th time in a row because Jerry and Steven didn't want him here. They didn't think he was a good teammate. The vaccination thing bothered them. They didn't think he practiced enough, blah, 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 blah. And now Amari Cooper, back-to-back 100-yard games with Jacoby Brissett. Pretty good at football.
And on top of that, when you look at the numbers, David Hellman had just tweeted this out not too long ago. The guys that they did sign this offseason combined $6 million against the cap, and they didn't sign any other free agents in the offseason. Like, they didn't sign any other free agents. They didn't sign Anthony Barr until training camp, happened, but there was no other big-time free agent, so the money was still there. And if I'm not mistaken, they still have like $22-23 million available in the cap for this year that'll probably roll over it to next year. So this whole thing about you can't have it all, you can actually have it all. You didn't even spend it all. So there's still all that could be spent. There could have been a contract renegotiation, all of that. So the whole Amari Cooper not being here, Cavanaugh, it's absolutely 100% unequivocally comes down to a personal dislike. Nothing to do with performance, nothing to do with cash, nothing to do with a cap, nothing to do with banks, anything. It had everything to do with a personal decision. And I think that's always a wrong thing when you bring personal feelings into business decisions. That can cost you. And, Noah Brown had a good game last week, but we'll see what he can do this week.
Vance in the super chat, Jeff and Jesse, how hard did you laugh at the two Ed Werder tweets regarding Amari? Me thinks he got a call from a certain family. I can see Ed Werder carrying the water for Jerry. I just looked up the tweets, and yeah, he was apparently pointing out, he's like, well, Amari could have had even more stats and should have, except he had drops and ran a route out of bounds. So yeah, I could see Jerry and Steven telling him to go after, to be mean to Amari. Y'all don't understand. Jerry got people. Vance, Jesse, why are you forgetting that Steven said they needed $15 million of cap space for the practice squad? Well, that's not accurate. That is not accurate. We're moving on. We're moving on to what matters, okay? Here's what matters. Cowboys-Giants, Monday night. Man, we both picked the Bengals to beat the Cowboys last week, which just goes to show you that just to be – to have people like us, we should probably just pick them to win every game, because if they win a game that you picked them to lose, then we're both stupid haters at the moment. And so now I'm just going to pick them to win against the Giants. And I actually am going to pick them to win, I think, but like a really close game, like a 20-19 kind of deal, because the Giants are the worst 2-0 team in the history of football. Like, they have a bad offensive line, a bad quarterback. Their only really good offensive weapon they don't even like and don't put in the game very often, Kadarius Toney. Like, they're not a good team. And I could absolutely see the Cowboys losing to the Giants because you're still playing with your backup quarterback. And so, yes, it could go poorly and you could absolutely lose to the New York Giants. But I actually think that Cooper Rush has a pretty darn decent chance to go 2-0 this year after this game.
I think when I look at this game, I look at two to be honest with you, very similar teams. Defensively, they lean on their defense. They'll probably get Kayvon Thibodeau back this week. He's probably going to have his debut in the National Football League coming off that knee injury from the preseason. They're going to get their line. I can't pronounce his name. I can't.
Azeez Ojulari?
Yeah, that guy. They'll get him back. But the biggest thing for the Giants is they want to get Saquon Barkley off. They want him in every way, shape, or form to get busy. He leads the league in rushing yards right now. They're gonna throw screens to him. They're gonna run the ball. The biggest thing that the Cowboys, and it's vice versa. The Cowboys, what Brian Daboll has done with Danny Dimes has said, okay, son, we know if we give you the opportunity to throw the ball 30 to 35 times a game, you're going to give that bad boy up. Whether it's a fumble because you're holding it too long, or somewhere along the line, David Cutcliffe and company told you that you were the next coming of Eli Manning or Peyton Manning, and you think that thing is supposed to go just willy-nilly all in the air and throw it to other people. So Brian Dable says, "Hey, I'm gonna limit. You're gonna throw this ball 20 times, and it's gonna be efficient. It's gonna be right in front of you. You're gonna have, and that's why he has 71% completion percentage through the first 2 games of this year because they're getting that ball right out right now. They're throwing screens, bubble screens. They're getting it's quick. It's quick. They're not allowing him to hold on to the ball. They're not allowing him to process a lot of these things because that stuff hurt him in the past. And it's the same thing with us. We've found ways to kind of set up Cooper Rush so that he's not holding on to the football, having to process so many different things and run the football efficiently and effectively. And when it comes down to it, I think in this game, it's going to come down to what defense is able to come in and to establish themselves in this football game. There's one thing that I think that we haven't talked about enough, and I'm not going to look too deep into this. I think it's one of those things, again, where they're peeing in my eye and telling me it is raining. But Micah Parsons is missing his second day of practice. Now,
he just got sinuses.
Yeah, listen, I'm not.
You know, the dandelions, he walked through a dandelion field and he's kind of stopped up.
But the common cold is kicking the living crap out of one of the best players in the National Football League. I just find that very hard to believe when you tell me that Dak has an injury that's normally 6 to 8 weeks, but he's going to make it back in 3. And then the guy who has the American common cold has missed 2 days of practice. That just looks a little bit off to me. I don't know. Don't know if it's real. Don't know if it's more than that. But I'm just saying cold should not keep an NFL linebacker out of practice for 2 days. The common cold, congestion, stuffiness.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. The only thing that I would
just tell me he wants rest. Like, I'd rather you tell me, hey, listen, guys, Micah Parsons plays 100% of the snaps for us every single week. We line him up in 15 different places. He's probably a chef on the side as well, and he's tired. And so we're going to give him the next couple of days off because we can. And he'll be ready for Monday night because he will, and he'll be Micah Parsons.
Yeah, and they're big on that. Like, I think McCarthy's huge on that stuff. He talked about it like every day at camp, where it's like, well, the GPS and he did this much, and so we got to dial that back. So I bet with Micah Parsons they do want to dial it back. But I mean, Jesse, people get sick. Okay, Micah's allowed to be sick. He'll be fine. A little Robitussin, a little NyQuil.
Like that doesn't, like, being the common cold isn't the same common cold as it is for you or for a regular person who's going to a regular 9 to 5 to a person of that stature. It's a lot. Jim Maurer and company got a lot of good drugs. Some of the best, literally some of the best drugs that you can absolutely get from any, like, think about the access and what you have. You have doctors and physicians. I mean, you have everything available to you. I just find it, for me, and I'm not saying conspiracy theory, Jess, the common cold has never kicked my butt. Ever.
Now Jesse is dropping I'm tougher than Micah Parsons. Okay. I see what's happening here.
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm tougher than Micah Parsons. Maybe I take my vitamins and I sleep at night. I take my Hulkamania vitamins, but the common cold, missing 2 days of NFL practice, I don't know. I just find that hard to believe.
I don't know what he's got, and I'll be honest, as long as he's going to be out there on Monday night, I don't care, and that'll be fine. D-Town text G said, I don't know why fans are upset with what Jerry said. Obviously, we want Rush to play great. Hell yeah, we want Cooper Rush to play great. There's just certain words you don't have to use, Jerry, but he uses them on purpose. He uses the words QB controversy. Like, I think he said he'd walk to New York if Cooper Rush played so well that they would have a QB controversy. But it worked. It works. Because we all acknowledge what you said. It worked, Jerry. You got me. Now, in this game, some of the things you were talking about as far as kind of the matchup with the Cowboys and Giants, I totally agree with you that they're going to try to do very similar things where it's just like, can we make our quarterback not have to play? Who can win the line of scrimmage? And who can make the occasional big play, whether it's, I'll say Zeke, but we know if a running back makes a big play, it's going to be Tony Pollard, Saquon Barkley. Which quarterback can make the one big throw? It's going to be like, I think it's going to be like a 20-19 sort of deal where nobody is scoring a bunch of points. And the reason I'm fairly confident in the Cowboys is because of Micah Parsons. Like, Micah Parsons is going to go up against, I would imagine, rookie right tackle Evan Neal. And outside of Andrew Thomas, the Giants left tackle, their offensive line is trash, but.
Yes.
That's what they've got on the offensive line. And Evan Neal might turn into a player, but Micah Parsons will eat his lunch. So I actually think the Cowboys have a decent chance to win that line of scrimmage, be the team that makes a big play or two, and be the team that you're more comfortable relying on your defense. So I think they got a decent chance here. Will befriend. Everyone reacts differently to sickness. Jesse's making QAnon out of a cold. Have a good weekend, Jeff. He doesn't want you to have a good weekend. Just me. And Vance said the American common cold is hilarious. Makes me think the Italian common cold might be a doozy.
Man, listen, you get that Italian common cold opposed to like that European common cold, that thing will take you out. I mean, that thing will take you out. So you got to be careful. But these different coasts, the American common cold, I guess, is took out the best linebacker, the best football player in football right now.
Hey, chill out, dude. Well, yeah, the European one would be tougher because they all smoke cigarettes too. So if you get congested and you smoke cigarettes, that's tough. Speaking of which, I am now 2 hours into trying to quit dip again. I fell off the wagon a couple weeks ago, but we're going to pull it off. It's going to be great. Will said, yeah, I just want Jesse's weekend to be average, which
That's
would be
cool.
fine.
I'll take that.
Jalen Tolbert this week, now that Dennis Houston isn't on the team anymore, you think we actually run the third rounder out there and they say, hey, can we try to develop the guy that we picked on day 2 of the draft?
Maybe.
I mean, it looks like Gallup's going to play.
Gallup's going to play. So maybe you divide those two guys, give them both a couple snaps apiece, maybe like 15-15 or whatever, however you want to break that down. But it's pretty interesting that, I didn't understand the Dennis Houston release because you didn't bring anybody else up and you didn't need to bring anybody else up because Michael's on the roster. He never went on IR. So I didn't to me, I'm still trying to figure out why did you make that roster spot available?
They might be figuring out a way. I saw this theory. They may be figuring out a way that they need to bring up 3 guys from the practice squad this week where you can only pull up 2 technically, and then maybe they'll have to sign one of them, but they just haven't decided which route to go yet, but they knew that Dennis Houston would be expendable.
Because, and you correct me if I'm wrong, when you get pulled up from the practice squad, you can only be pulled up for assignment 3 times, right?
Then you have to be signed to the real.
Cooper Rush was pulled up from the practice squad, so this would be his second week. And if push comes to shove, but again, that's still.
And maybe they don't know, like right now, they don't know, will they need to pull up a tight end? Is Dalton Schultz going to play? Will they have to bring up, because I'm trying to think who were the 2 they brought up last week, but surely it was Rush and is their deep snapper still technically in the practice squad or the kicker? It might be the kicker. But okay. Yeah, they gotta play games with that crap.
Yeah, but again, the thing still remains that you could still bring those guys up for the 53 without having to, right, take a guy off the roster.
Yeah, but I think like this week instead, they're looking at it like we're going to need to bring up the same 2 we do every week. And this week, we're either going to need to also sign one of those tight ends to the actual roster or I don't know. Look, Jesse, I don't know. Okay. I don't know.
Sorry.
That's that.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully we see Michael Gallup. Maybe we see Jalen Tolbert. For a rookie, I don't know if I want my first game to be on the road at Giants Stadium, because while they may be the worst team in the league,
ever?
the New York, New Jersey metropolitan area fans are going to be out there like they're the best 2-0 team. They're supposed to have a whiteout. It's a night game. They're going to be drinking. It's going to be lit. It's going to be a lit situation. So for a guy in Jalen Tolbert who, for whatever reason, has been a healthy scratch for the first 2 weeks of the season, that tells me that it's not injury related. That means he's not picking up the offense as fast as he needs to, that they feel comfortable enough to play him. Having him go out there on a Monday night football game as his well, the weather might be a little bit of a factor. It's going to be windy. It's going to be a little bit chilly. There may be some rain I mean, hey, I guess football players are football players, even if you have the common cold. But
I swear on everything. Andrew in the super chat, I didn't miss you, brother. This game reminds me of the 3-0 Panthers game last year. Don't believe it's a good undefeated team. No, it's a bad undefeated team. But you can't take away the fact that they beat Tennessee and they beat Carolina, but they also beat Tennessee and beat Carolina. Tennessee's reached the weird spot where they still run the ball all the time, but suddenly they're bad at it, which is weird. But hey, running backs with miles on their legs, they don't tend to get better. Jaime or Jamie, when we getting the Jeff, Jesse, Vach, Sky show, you don't think we can set that up? We can set that up. We can make that work.
We can. Here's my thing I always say about with people, like, and I love, of course, I work with Sky. I love Sky. I don't have a really great relationship with Vosh. Not that I don't like him. I don't know him well enough I like him, like his work. But they think you can just mash personalities together. It just doesn't work. It doesn't always work that well when you just throw a bunch of person. I talk a lot.
Yeah, Jesse talks. Jesse's average point is like 3.5 minutes. I know because I have to put the ads in the video, and when I see him talking, I just move the scroller until I see my face move, and I'm like, all right, we'll put it there.
I talk a lot. So you add me talking a lot, then each one of these other alpha males on this show wants to talk as well. So unless you have a 2 or 3 hour window for a show, it's going to be a lot of talking. And listen, core Lord, I feel you, brother. Trust and believe you me. Between this show twice a week, I got 2 other shows twice a week. I got another 5-day a week, and I got my regular spot. I do a lot of talking. So if you don't want me, you telling me that I talk a lot only will make me talk more. So it doesn't bother me that I talk a lot. I know I do. And
I'll let him because this is on my channel. So if he wants to create content on my channel and just keep stuff going, like I'll go get a sandwich. I discovered veggie pasta. It's actually kind of good. It's instead of being made of whatever pasta is made of, it's made of zucchini and lentils. And I accidentally bought it, but then I ate it and I put it with some chicken fajita meat and some corn, and I made a bowl, and it was delicious. Jeff, did you get an invitation to play in Dirk's tennis tournament? No, they don't want me to show him up. I've been playing tennis, played 2 times in my life now, and I'm really good. They would be in trouble. Left tackle Tyler Smith, 2 games in. He's played well. When Jason Peters is ready, I would be moving Tyler Smith. Jesse, you?
Yeah, Tyler Smith goes to guard. Jason Peters goes to left tackle.
I don't know if they will, though, because like
that's dumb if they don't.
I know. Yesterday at practice, I was like, Jason Peters working at all these different spots. And I'm like, Jason Peters is 40. If you think he's the guy who's going to go play in front of Connor McGovern with Tyler Smith at tackle, I got news for you. That's not as good as doing it the other way. It's Jason better Peters, the other way, and that's all that should matter is today.
Jason 12,000 snaps at left tackle. He has 1 rep in 18 years at left guard.
I need to go see how that rep was. I need to check that rep and really scout it.
Don't make this has to be. Tyler Smith can continue to grow in the offseason, or if push comes to shove, whenever put Tyler Smith at guard, put Peters at left tackle, and let's keep this party rolling. That's not hard to have. We don't have to make this thing difficult. We choose.
Prediction for the game?
Oh, prediction for the game. I got the Cowboys winning this game 23-17.
Cowboys 20-19. And the Giants are 3.5-point favorites. So if you want to skip on over to Bet Online, if you think like we do, now this is going to be the week that the Cowboys drop a deuce and fart and fall down on the field. And it's like, wait, we should have seen that coming. They have the backup quarterback, but hell, you beat the Bengals. Go ahead. The Giants are terrible. He's Jesse Holley, former Cowboys wide receiver. I'm Jeff Cavanaugh. We love you. Is there anything you have to sneak in?
Eliminate the contingencies.
Okay. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through. Be cool.